Let's take you back now to the High Court in Durban, where scores of people are expected to gather as the ANC fights the MK Party over its name and logo. Linda Mnisi is keeping tabs on those activities and joins me now live. Linda, good morning to you. Yesterday, outside the Electoral Court, scores of MK Party supporters, not a lot of ANC supporters there, some not a lot. What is that ratio looking like today, if you will?
Well, if you look at outside courts, Naledi, they are only members of the MK Party, and they started celebrating from yesterday following that ruling by the Electoral Court. And from what we learned yesterday, it seemed that they were not deterred by that particular application or the delivery of that ruling, because they were continuing with their campaigning on the ground. And when they spoke to us, what they told us was that this just definitely certifies what they've always said, that they've got a right to participate in the elections and that they are a standalone party. So we're seeing the same momentum outside the court this morning. I'll ask my colleague Lungelo to just give you a brief view of what it's looking like. Many still arriving this morning, arriving from different parts of the province to support President Jacob Zuma and the MK Party. Yesterday, the former president was spotted around Umhlanga, along with other MK Party members. So there is an expectation that later, after the court hears arguments, he will address the crowd. So inside the court, obviously, the arguments will be about the use of the name Umkhonto weSizwe as well as the party logo. We engaged them yesterday about what they think about that, and they all follow the same, argument that is put in the papers, that the position of their spear cannot be the same as the one that is in the logo of the ANC's military wing, Umkhonto weSizwe, and they're quite confident that this court will rule in their favor. Even some saying to me yesterday, Naledi, that the court cannot rule that they have got a right to register as a political party and participate in the elections, and then another court ruled differently. But of course we know courts work based on merits and the facts that are put before it, and the successful party is the one that will win. So they're hoping that yesterday's ruling will certainly set the tone for what's to come in this battle.
It does beg the question why the ANC does not have supporters outside the Durban High Court this morning, Linda. And I know that may be a difficult one for you to answer, and perhaps you've heard any murmurs about why that is the case. And then what happens if the MK Party does not succeed in the Durban High Court today, or is there a clear expectation that they will? I mean, I see some security present outside of the court there this morning.
Well, the ANC has not really explained or even sent out a notice to their supporters to come out to support the party in this battle. You'll remember yesterday they were meant to hold a media briefing, but that was cancelled. And even here in KwaZulu-Natal, there wasn't necessarily word or reaction to the ruling that was made yesterday. This morning, there isn't a clear indication of whether or not they would be joining, the supporters outside of court. But certainly one of the things that is not in discussion is a loss for the MK Party. It's not part of the discourse. It's not something that they believe will happen, and therefore does not feature in any of the conversations that they're having on the ground. What they believe is that since the Electoral Court affirmed their rights to participate in the 2024 election, their logo is basically theirs, and the logo is different from that of the ANC's military wing, Umkhonto weSizwe. If you look at the papers and what the ANC is arguing, particularly when we zoom into why this matter is urgent, they are saying that the use of this logo can cause potential confusion, particularly to the voters who will be taking to the voting stations and viewing the ballots, and that there is no link between the ANC and the Umkhonto weSizwe party. So there needs to be a clear distinction between the two, so that voters are clear about the two parties, and that there is no link, and that they don't understand the participation of the Umkhonto weSizwe party as the participation of the ANC in the upcoming election. So they want the Durban High Court to interdict them or order them to pay damages in terms of the logo and the name.
Well, this is without a doubt one of the biggest stories of the day. And of course, you've got Linda Mnisi as well as Ziyanda Ngoba, who are down in Durban, keeping a close eye on how things wrap up at the Durban High Court as the ANC takes the MK Party on over their name and logo.